Welcome to another episode of Movers and Shakers of Paarl. Today I'm super excited to have my guest here with me. Of course, he doesn't need any introduction. um, and yeah, so he's a very busy man. Before I tell you his name, he's currently on Binnenlanders. Danny is his role. I'm sure you know him. Grew up in Paarl, born and bred in Paarl, and now, of course, he's in Johannesburg, a very busy man. And he came to Paarl this week. I think he landed on Wednesday, and I think he brought some heat also because I don't know what happened Wednesday and Thursday. But I've got Bradley Olivier here, and he's going to tell us a bit about his journey, his acting journey, his stand-up comedian journey, and of course, they're also here this week, him and his co-partner, Daxkroof and
Space Creek.
So they have, but we're going to talk about that now. We want you all to be there. So Bradley, welcome
Yes.
to the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's really good to be here. Thank you.
How did you handle the heat today?
I was defeated, man. Joburg doesn't get this hot.
You brought it with you from Joburg?
And I thought, no, man, it's only December. It's going to be this hot. Nice. September.
So you miss Paarl in Joburg?
I miss Paarl. Yes, I do. It's just now work and life is that side.
Yeah.
But as soon as I'm rich enough, I'm going to move back. You know, the property is expensive here. Yeah. But I miss Paarl. I miss the beauty. Joburg doesn't have the beauty, man.
Of course.
Doesn't have the beauty and it doesn't have like the friendly people that's here. Yeah, Joburg is just, hustle and bustle and business. And yeah, it's lekker mense, and this place is so beautiful. And every time I speak to my friends here, I always ask them, do you guys realize how beautiful this town actually is? Because growing up, I didn't appreciate it as much. And I know I've got some friends that's living and working abroad now. And whenever they come back, and it's like, we are also tourists. And people are always surprised, like, julle kom hier vanaf, wat gaan dan met julle? But you don't see it in Abu Dhabi or in Qatar or in Dubai, and you don't see it in Joburg. So it's always good to be back home. Man.
Okay, nice, man. Nice to have you back.
Thank you.
So let's start quickly a bit of the childhood. So primary school, high school, highlights.
Primary school, New Orleans Primary. High school, New Orleans Secondary. New Orleans all the way.
Okay, nice.
I actually did Sub A. It was still called Sub A back then. On a farm school in Paarl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was there in Paarl because my father was a warden.
Okay.
So he started out there.
Oh, right.
Parelbeek. Before 1994, we moved to Big Paarl. To Big Paarl, and since then I've been New Orleans Primary and New Orleans Secondary. So, and I grew up on Allendale.
Okay.
Yeah, so on the prison complexes.
Yeah.
Is that,
Yeah.
But I never wanted to go in, if you know what I mean. Just outside. So I suppose you could call me a farm boy because wherever I lived in Paarl, it was plaas en damme en boord.
Was je elke dag werk toe? Op je school toe?
Nee, ik heb daarom gestap. Chicago voorbij.
Okay.
Of als ik laarschool stap en dan stap ik Park om. En,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it was nogals rough and scary, honestly. Growing up, I've been mugged. More times that I would have wanted to, sue voorbij Chicago and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I suppose those are the lowlights. Yeah, and I went to go do drama in New Orleans Secondary, and that's where the bug bit. I always knew I wanted to become an actor, but New Orleans had the opportunity to give drama classes, and through Celeste Lauriston and Michelle Peterson, they helped to groom that, you know, and then it grew and it grew and it grew and it grew, and here I am today. So I owe my whole career, or all my achievements, I owe to Paarl and my parents, man.
Okay, cool. So what happens after matric? You finish, you put your bag down, mommy and daddy, I want to be an actor.
Yeah, and now it's like for real. But my father was always supportive. And sometimes I wonder if they realized how hard it would be to make a career and a living off of this. But my parents supported me all the way, the way. I went to Northland College, Platte Kloof, my first year. And then, like myself and Solomon Kibidu and 4 other friends, we had the opportunity to go further our studies in Pretoria.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So second and third year, we went to Pretoria. Now we went to the big Gauteng. And then at the end of that year, at the end of my final year, 2007, my late dad being as supportive as he was, there was this rapport talent search for new faces on Villa Rosa.
Okay.
And I was like, no, Daddy, man, I don't want to. No, I'm an actor. I don't do talent shows or talent searches or stuff like that. But he forced me into it, and I suppose he just believed in me, man, and it paid off, and I got a part in Villa Rosa.
Okay, cool. Was that the first?
That was my first television work
nice.
ever. I got in.
Nice.
Had a couple of calls there, and yeah, that was my first break. And since then, I've been living in Joburg. Yeah,
So
lots of
what-
highlights and lowlights in Joburg.
So give me some of the highlights.
Listen, I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing actors whilst being there over the years, you know. People that I've watched on television since I was a kid that I wanted to be like. So I've been, I suppose, just working with such an abundance of talent, that side, man. That is definitely the highlight of my time in Joburg, learning from the best, working with the best. I remember I was actually shooting on a film a couple of years ago here in Cape Town, and I had to play opposite Paarl.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember him. I'm pretty sure if you see him, but big Afrikaans actor back in the day, and he was big in theatre as well. But I knew who he was at the time, and now I had to do scenes with him.
Wow, nice.
And I panicked, you know. I had to calm myself down. I was like starstruck, and I got stage fright.
Yeah.
There in front of the camera, working with this legend. So yeah, that was, yeah. And who else? Oh, so many great actors that I've had the opportunity to play
But
with.
it's also like with you acting and singing or stage performance. Like whenever I speak to the people, it's so, you guys are so lucky to a certain extent, because when you grow up, you see these actors on TV, but you also have the opportunity to work with those actors. Like,
Yeah.
It's like you get, like I was speaking to the other guy also, like you have the Charlene Sue Richards and you have the Zayn Mias and the David
Yes.
Kramer. And this guy said, but he's now busy in plays with Zayn Mias.
With these guys,
with
yeah.
these guys, which is amazing. It's like the people you look up to, or the idols when you're younger, you're working with them now. It's like dream come true.
Yeah, who else? Yeah, myself and Solomon also worked with Charlene Richards on a short film called Draadloos. That we, who else? Yo, there are so many.
Yeah. Was there ever time, like I know this is a hustle, acting. Was there ever time when you thought, I'm done with this. I can't anymore.
Yes.
I'm sleeping on my friend's couch for too many years.
Yes, yo. Actually, I think about just over 2 years. That was just before my daughter was born. I actually did quit.
No way.
And yes, and I went to go do sales. And I was selling like telecommunication stuff,
Wow, guys.
internet, CCTV, PBX phone systems, etc., etc., etc. Because I was like, now this acting hustle is like now, because of so many ups and downs.
Yeah, of course.
Now it's getting to me. I've got a child on the way. I should probably now.
Get to what you call a stability.
Yeah, and be a man about things to a certain extent. And I did quit. But even before my daughter was born, I already quit that job, because I was like, nah, that thing, it was a soul killer, man. You know, because I knew that is not where my passion was, and I knew that is also not where my talent was. Because as confident a speaker I am as an actor, I'm not a salesman. I sell emotions. You know, I sell emotions. I don't sell I don't sell office stuff and there's a certain talent, and there's a certain confidence and skill that comes with that job. And not long after that, I got a starring role in Hope, which was a telenovela on Moja Love. And then Binnelanders came back, and I was in between Binnelanders and Hope.
Yeah.
And then Binnelanders gave me a long-term contract,
Okay,
and then I
cool.
was in Binnelanders, and in the meantime, I was shooting and other on other stuff as well. So I'm so glad that I didn't quit permanently. But over the years, even before that, you would consider it, yeah, because 1 year it will be amazing, and the next year it won't be. But as you can see, persistence pays off, man.
Yeah, no, totally. So when you, that quitting period, and you got the phone call from what the telenova that you said.
Yeah.
So who's the first person you called and they said,
Oh, my mother.
okay, mommy,
Yeah, mommy, ek het week.
so cool.
Yeah, first person I called
Okay.
was my mother, and then the second person I called was a good friend of mine, Mopi Motibedi.
Okay.
He plays Smanga on Generations,
Okay.
and he helped me with that audition.
Oh,
So I
nice.
just had to call him back and just say, "Yo,
Okay,
thank you, brother,
congrats.
man. Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you for helping me." And since then, I've been constantly working.
How important is it to have that networking with other actors in the acting?
It's not necessarily it's important to have that with other actors because especially when it comes to things like corporate theater
Gigs, right.
or industrial theater
Yeah.
gigs or MC gigs
Okay.
and stuff like that. So we all have this kind of network and we all know this person would be good in that person would be good in this. So everybody always refers everybody else, and that's that good community that we have as actors, especially in Joburg. But it's the producers and the directors that I've learned those are the people that you really want to have good relationships with, because with Rouse House I've worked with them on 3 different productions. I made a cameo on the Castile, and then I also worked on High Rollers, and then I also worked on Rurio Footer, and then with the Starks I was in Vlug na Egypte,
Okay.
and they wrote this part for me in Binnelanders. So it's what's most important is being professional,
Yeah.
always being on time, always delivering good work, always being courteous on set, and your professional relationship at the workplace, that guarantees more work. You understand? Because the industry is small,
Yeah,
and,
that's what I'm
and
asking,
and your reputation can precede you
He's not the cool guy on set or what,
in
yeah.
the worst way. So like, oh, great actor, but oh, horrible person, or great actor, always late, stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very important to have a healthy
Yeah.
professional work attitude about
Okay, so
yourself.
whose couch did you sleep on for how long?
Yo,
Or were there various couches?
various couches, various aunties. Solly and I have shared a flat together, myself and Merlin Barley, myself and Donovan Peterson.
Okay, nice.
So, yeah.
But it's probably also cool
slept on
because-
lekker couches.
Yeah, because it's also...
And floors.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also cool because they also part of the hustle.
They're
you
part of
even-
that same
It's
hustle.
not like you're sleeping with someone that has a 9 to 5 that comes in.
Yeah, and now you are in their space and
Yeah.
they don't understand your work.
Because now you both... And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, gaan ons weer kry.
What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And when somebody gets something, like everybody's happy.
Yeah, no, totally.
Um,
So how was the feeling with
So,
the
yeah.
Binnelanders call for the long-term contract?
that was. I was just thinking I could pay school fees. I can pay the daycare
Wow.
and.
So where were you? What was the
and,
phone call like? What was it?
Uh,
Can you remember?
I was actually at Binnelanders
Okay.
when I got the phone call from an agent, because now I was on a call basis.
All right.
So
Okay.
at work, I was in between. I got the call and they said that they want to extend your contract, because
Nice.
in the industry they only give out year contracts
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And then when the time comes, it renews and renews.
yeah.
But a year contract, that's the standard.
Okay.
So, I was excited, man. I was excited because I was thinking, if this call contract ends,
School fees.
hope is finished. You understand? So it came at the right time,
Yeah.
and now I appreciate it so much. I'm working with Clint Brink, man. From Paarl,
Yeah.
amazing actor. I've always looked up to that guy,
Yeah.
and even still today, whenever I act with him,
Yeah.
first, we've got the friendship vibe going, so it's always lekker to go on set with Clint. And then he's such an intense and natural actor, man.
Yeah.
And those are the actors that you want to play with.
Yeah.
You
No,
understand?
totally. No, totally.
Not to take anything away from
Yeah.
everybody else. There are only good actors there, but it's great to work with Clint, man.
Yeah. No,
It really is.
And it's from home as well.
And he's from home,
Yeah.
you understand? So we have that rapport where people don't know most of the things that me and him talk about or laugh about. They just don't get it.
Have you played 30 seconds?
In my life,
Yes.
in general, yeah. I've played one or two.
so
Woo!
we-
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, so this is the kiddies version.
Okay. If I suck at this, I'm dumb.
Yeah, no.
All right, so I'm asking you.
You're asking me, yeah.
Do I have to take the first card or any card?
Anyone. You must explain to me.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
1, 2, 3, go. You live in a.
House,
You sleep in a.
bed,
Yeah, but your bed is in a.
home, a room.
Yes,
Okay.
there we go. Okay, not high, but
No,
when you are hungry, you are.
starving.
Yes.
Starve,
Yeah.
starve.
I'll take that. He's the kid in the Jungle Book.
Mowgli,
Yes. You know that soap with the white bird on it?
dove,
Yes.
There we go.
What do you do in a pool?
Swim.
Yes. What do you put butter on,
bread,
but not brown?
white bread.
Yes.
Nice.
You put your sokjes and your onderbroeke in a.
Cupboard,
No.
Drawer.
Yes, there we
Okay.
go. It's in Mpumalanga, Limpopo, where all the animals are.
Kalahari.
No.
Kruger National
Yes,
Park.
that's the one. And Miles Davis played this.
Saxophone, trumpet.
Yeah, that's the one. All right, so we got 10. Is it your turn?
Slow clap. Put me under pressure. You know.
It's 10.
Okay, you can turn it around.
All right, are you ready?
Okay, let's go.
All right, cool.
Lays or what?
Chips.
There we go. Opposite of girl is?
Boy.
Opposite of, can't say that. You are a what? That you do on TV, a what?
Actor.
There we go. You put money in it.
Pocket. Wallet.
There we go. It was a game that you had all of them together, you drop them and you have to take them out one by one, long.
Those long blocks.
No, it's like long, thin, I can't say the word, but thin.
Strips.
Yeah, but it's like you drop it and it was red, white and yellow and you had to take each one, not move the others.
I can't remember.
Okay, we can go there. Who was the first, who was Eve's partner when they arrived here on Earth?
Adam.
There we go. Mr. what?
Mr. Min. Mr. Muscle.
The clothing. Mr.
Oh, Mr. Price.
There we go. Someone that is very does not the Olympics. Oh, they are what? They are,
Runners, Olympians.
What do they
They
do?
are athletes.
There we go. A lot of cows together are. There we go.
Cattle.
And when are you finished getting? When are you gonna get wedding?
I was thinking like, what's the date?
So propose here.
Yeah, I said we were on the pressure here.
So how's family life? What we are the year in Joburg with you? Are they?
I still have family around here, but my mother and my brother and my sister, they are currently staying in Kuruman in the Northern Cape. That's where my parents are from.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and now in my mother's old age, she wants to be closer to her mother and the parents
Okay.
and the siblings and so on.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody's
So yeah, so my parents are from the Northern Cape.
there. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's just me, my brother, my sister. We from here.
All over.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I'm from Paarl anymore. Yeah, I'm from South Africa now.
Yeah. And the kid, how old?
She's now 2 years and 3 months. Kiara, I've got a beautiful baby girl. Baie bikkig.
Yeah, Susie Paarl.
Yeah, but you know, miss, if they have attitude, then it's like, yeah, the nisio ma. And when they do well, it's like, I make it. You know?
I say,
Yeah.
okay, I have your looks, but they got my brain.
So, being a father is great. Being a father is better than being an actor, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
The highlight of my life is my daughter. When she was born, I've never cried like that. Even though she makes me so angry because now she's like naughty twos
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
or terrible twos.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't trade that life for nothing, man.
Okay. Are we settling with one or what? Are we getting more?
We'll probably get there. Yes.
Vanilla under you.
Yeah. You have to double the salary now if I.
5 years.
Yeah. Yes, hopefully down the line. Of
Okay,
course,
nice.
I would like to settle down
Yeah.
with someone,
Okay.
and and then we'll see what happens from there.
Okay, cool. But before we get to Space Click, I've got 10 questions to you just to get.
Cool. Yeah.
I always throw this. Just to get to know Bradley Olivier a bit better. Danny. Supper with 3 people, dead or alive. Who would you have supper with?
Oh, Martin Scorsese,
Wow.
Denzel Washington, and Akira Kurosawa.
Who is that?
Is a Japanese director.
Okay.
It's like he was a major influence on American directors, like classic samurai films, man.
Okay,
It's like
cool. All right, nice.
really brilliant stuff. Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
I don't know how good his English is, so I don't know if I would
How
understand
good
it.
is your Japanese?
Non-existent.
If you could play in any band alongside any person that sings on stage, who would it be and what instrument would you be playing?
I would be in Linkin Park.
Okay.
I would sing with Chester Bennington,
Okay.
and
But he's
he's
possible?
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone. But was now dead
Yeah,
or alive.
yeah.
And I would definitely play the guitar.
Okay.
I would definitely play
Are
the
we
guitar.
taking lessons? Do we know?
No. I can probably play like 4 chords, and I can't sing.
Yeah.
Definitely not the range that somebody like you would have.
Yeah.
But I was at the concert when they were here
Wow,
in
nice.
South Africa,
Yeah.
Golden Circle. Oh, another great experience. So I would definitely play in Linkin Park.
Okay, perfect. If you could play in any movie, alongside any actor and actress, who would they be?
Woo! I think any of the actors or actresses that I would mention would, they would floor me. But I would say Daniel Day-Lewis,
Okay.
but I'll drown next to him.
Yeah.
But I'd love the experience. Daniel Day-Lewis, and actress, I would probably play next to Amy Adams. I think she's brilliant. Amy Adams is brilliant.
From where she?
She was in Arrival. She
Okay.
was in
Okay, I don't know.
American Hustle. You know her.
Okay.
Trust me.
Oh,
You
when I
know
see
her.
her face.
When you see her, you'll know her. But
Okay. Are we a Game of Thrones fans?
yes, I'm a Game of Thrones fan from
Okay.
season 1 to season 6.
Okay.
There are 2 Game of Throneses.
Yeah.
It's like season 1 to 6, that's one Game of Thrones. Season 7 and 8, that's
Yeah.
another Game of
Okay,
Thrones. Yeah.
Okay. So the question of having a cameo role in the series would be
Game of Thrones.
perfect. Yeah, that's a series. What would you tell your 20-year-old self?
Oh, I would probably tell him, I know you're stupid and dumb now and you think you probably know a lot, but you don't know a lot, but persist and don't give up. That's what I would tell him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes in the 20s, but I also enjoyed it.
You
Yeah.
Fondest childhood memory.
Fondest childhood memory. Wow. I didn't have a bad childhood, eh? So, fondest memory. Okay, my fondest memories would be my father would always have, every now and again, he would have a surprise for me whenever I would come from school.
Okay.
You know, like the money wasn't always there,
Yeah.
like right now.
Okay.
You know, like when he knew I wanted a new pair of tekkies, sometimes I would come home and there's a new box of tekkies.
Wow, that's amazing.
Or I want a bike, I come home, there's a bike waiting for me.
Yeah.
Or now you're in your teens and you start listening to music, and I would come home and there's a little CD
That is
player
so cool.
waiting for me, you know. And it would never be on the times that I wanted, because, you know, I'm a child.
Yeah.
Only now as a father and as an adult, I understand that there's not always money right now
Yeah.
for everything.
Yeah.
But I always appreciated the fact that he always made a plan. And yeah, if I had to choose one, it would be the surprises from my dad, man.
Yeah, but isn't it amazing how parents just make plans? Like
They make plans,
they
bro.
just
Like
make it
now,
happen.
even now,
Yeah.
you know, every now and again, you just have to make it happen and
Yeah.
make plans. And my father's not here now anymore, but sometimes I wish I just want to tell him, yo, daddy, I finally understand why you were so strict. I finally
Yeah.
understand why you didn't give me things right now whenever I wanted it, you know. I was never spoiled, but yeah, I always got what I wanted eventually.
Yeah.
And he always made me work for it.
That's
And,
pretty
and,
cool.
and I would always complain about those things.
Yeah.
You have to work in the yard, you have to do this, you have to do this. Always complained about it. but I didn't realize at the time how he wanted to shape me as a man, or how he wanted me to see the merit in hard work and that there's a reward at the end of the day. You understand? But us lighties, you so dumb, man. You don't see these things. You
I
understand?
mean, we were all the same. It's like your father or your parents tell you certain things, but you, please, man.
Ah, please, yeah.
You know
And
what?
then it comes, yeah, like now, then it comes to a point where like you wish you could tell your dad, thank you for this and thank you for that, etc.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Who's your inspiration? Who's your mentor? Who's the person you look up to currently, or that pick up the phone and need a conversation, or someone you just look up to?
That I know personally.
Oh no, just anybody, just like.
I think I've got a lot of influences, man, in my life, and there's a lot of people whom I don't know, but whose work I would follow, and whose work I would read up on.
Okay.
You know, now in my craft, and but I always learn from a lot of actors on set, and there's Cindy Swanepoel. I think she's a great actress. She plays Annalise Roux. I really. That's one of the people that you can go to and talk about career stuff and stuff like that. You understand?
Cool,
So there's a lot of those actors and people in my life, personally, my colleagues and peers that I really look up to, and whose work and talent I really appreciate, and I strive to get to a certain level.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. If you had a billboard up on the N1 and people driving past there every day, what would your face there and a speech bubble, not Kombora, New Orleans, South, but after tomorrow. What did you want to tell the world?
Yo, pressure. But I would probably, I always say this, and I was asked something along these lines on Klopp as well, but I will tell you off air. So, but in a nutshell, or the politically correct term would be, treat others the way that you want to be treated. I think I would really put that up on a billboard and hope that it resonates.
Okay.
Because, like I say, the rest I'll tell you off air.
Biggest failure, the one where you learned your biggest lesson. Of course, in your craft, there's so many lessons you learn doing what you do. But
biggest failure.
yeah, like for example, trusting someone, or and then your lesson is, I don't trust people very easily, or you see what I mean, like.
No, I would think I was asked the other day also, like, what my regrets are in life. And it seems like all of my regrets always led up to something positive later in my life. So my biggest failures, I would say, was I've pitched many movie ideas, and then it got turned down, and it got turned down, and it got turned down.
Okay.
And right now, we're busy with one that was accepted. And at the time, it feels like, I'm dumb, I'm stupid, I'm never going to make it. And then with every failed pitch, you learn more, you learn more, you learn more, you learn more. So I would think my biggest failures have turned into some of my biggest accomplishments. Yeah.
Okay.
Those personal stuff, no, for me, that's water off my back. Because no, sometimes you have people in your life, especially like in the Joburg setup, where they get to a point where they need you and you are there for them until they reach a certain status, and then there goes your friendship, and then later on, now when you've made something of yourself, they want to come back. So, but I don't dwell on those things. I really don't. Yeah. Okay.
So what's the big plan for Bradley Olivier? What's the big life plan? What's op die kerststok? I heard that word recently. Kerststok.
I would really like to get in behind the scenes. Right now we have an opportunity where we've been commissioned from Cakenet to write a script. Hopefully we're going to shoot that early next year. Nice. Maybe later next year. It just depends on the type of work that we put in. And then I also have the opportunity now to learn from Dani and Dries at the Film Factory. Okay. They've now produced Feel as a Kind.
I will go watch it.
Oh yeah? Did you cry?
No.
Well, I cried. And they did Partner Your Heart and For Altijd.
And he's from Paarl.
And Dani's from Paarl, yeah. And the Bakgat movies and so many great South African films. And now we are going to work in partnership with them, and then it's also going to be a mentorship because I've always wanted to produce. So right now we are writing, and then I'm going to start producing and learning from the best in the business, and eventually get into directing as well. But I want to produce and write films. That's what I want to do, and I think that's what's in my foreseeable future, and hopefully that will be the long-term plan. So I can write, direct, act,
Everything.
produce. Yeah, eventually I would like to be involved in all of that. I'm a huge film geek. Like I'm a movie nerd.
So, but you have a lot of time to watch. I mean, you need time to watch movies.
I make time to watch movies. Sometimes I would watch one movie over 3 days, or like 4 days.
Alright, I see. Yeah.
You understand? I would get home tired, watch maybe half an hour, and then sleep, and then the next day maybe 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But I always make time to watch movies. And if I'm not watching a movie, I'm watching YouTube things about movies. So that's why I just want to do everything that I can that involves filmmaking.
Yeah.
I'm a student of film, and I'm never going to stop learning. So
But Bradley, thanks so much for your time. I know you're busy,
Thank
man.
you, thank you.
I know you're busy running around delivering
yeah, personal touch.
tickets today.
Yeah, personal touch.
But all the best with your future plans.
Thank you.
Director, producer.
Thank you.
Are we going to see a movie called Space Cricket?
No. I don't think there's going to be a Space Cricket Dust Roof movie. The movie we are doing has got nothing to do with Space Cricket Dust Roof. But people have been wanting to turn it into a sitcom, so we'll still have to talk about that.
Okay.
So it doesn't seem like Space Cricket Dust Roof is going to come to an end very soon.
But that's cool. Always just bring it back, yo.
Always bring it
Something
back
new.
home. Yeah.
Okay, dude, but thanks so much.
Thank you, man. Thank
I
you
know
for
you
having
got
me,
the-
and thank you for what you're doing, man.
Okay, thanks.
Appreciate
man.
it.
It's fun.
Thank you.